What's up, everybody? Misfit again. And today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about my story, some things that have happened to me, and also shed some light on some new research that I myself have found out regarding multiple sclerosis and the problems of fatigue and so on. So, starting out, I want to say that I have been tested positive for the JC virus, which is the John Cunningham virus. John Cunningham being the first person documented to have gotten the virus. Now, the John Cunningham virus is not harmful to anybody with a normal immune system, but to anyone who are taking immunosuppressants, maybe you had an organ transplant, or maybe you just have Crohn's disease or something like that. And people who have HIV or AIDS, they're more susceptible to having it, and the most susceptible to having the JC virus become something even more problematic. Now, that is why I came off of Gilenya, because Gilenya, the medicine that was helping me, has a chance for the JC virus, again, if you're positive, to become something life-threatening. And that's where it crosses your blood-brain barrier. And once it does that, it becomes something totally different called PML, or progressive multifocal leukoencephalopathy. It's a lot of big words, but it basically tells you what's happening. Progressive, it's getting worse, and in this case at an alarming rate. Multifocal, in many different lobes and areas of your brain, and leukoencephalopathy, affecting the white matter of your brain. So, again, those at risk, anyone on immunosuppressants, organ transplants, and the things that I mentioned. So that's why I came off the medicine that I did. Now, anywhere I've heard numbers from 40 to 90% of the world's population already has the JC virus. We've picked it up in our childhood, and scientists still don't know how. But to those of you, again, with a normal immune system, there's no need to worry. So I don't want to alarm anyone. So that was the first problem I had, and coming off of Gilenya is why I've had another relapse. And with that relapse has came more difficulty walking, and I even have difficulty with therapy and have to lean from wall to wall, and I have fallen quite a few times and hurt myself. But it's okay. I get used to it. Now, the second problem I have is I have been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, so I am being treated for multiple sclerosis, and I'm going to be starting a medicine called Tysabri that I have really good hope for, and it should help me a lot because it's helped others a lot. It's a once every 28 days infusion, and again, a lot of great things I've heard. People have gotten out of their chairs and been able to drive again, which is where I'm at. I am not going to risk my life or the life of others and try to drive right now because it is so difficult for me and I have a lot of foot drop. But for those of us that do have MS, there's this fairly new disease or condition called Devic syndrome. Now, Devic syndrome mimics multiple sclerosis, and they're so closely intertwined with the same symptoms like optic neuritis in one or both of your eyes, like fatigue, like lesions on your spinal cord, and having to have ambulatory help like a wheelchair or a walker because of the fatigue. Now, Devic syndrome is also called neuromyelitis optica or neuromyelitis optica. And because it's much newer than multiple sclerosis, those who have Devic syndrome or neuromyelitis optica the medicine used to treat multiple sclerosis could make Devic syndrome worse. And the opposite is also true. So you have to be careful, and you have to make sure that you know what you have. So the Devic syndrome can be found by a simple blood test. But since it is fairly new, there's problems that come with that, like my insurance. If it is Devic syndrome that I have, which I don't think that it is, because I was on MS medication prior, the Gilenya, and I was getting better. So if it were Devics, I would think that I would have been getting worse. Now the problems, if it is Devic syndrome, it's fairly new. So getting insurance and getting the help that I need to pay for it is going to prove problematic. So that's problem number one. And since it is so new, the neurologists and doctors, they don't really know how to treat it that well. And it's all medication that's in the test phases and stuff. So there is no medication for it, and there's no cure for that either. There's no cure for PML. There's no cure for the JC virus. You just have to hope that your immune system can continue to keep it at bay and not let it cross your blood-brain barrier. Eat a healthy diet. Make sure you're getting your nutrients and antioxidants and everything of that nature. Now, for those of you that are taking supplements, vitamin D, and so on, that's great, and continue to do that. But on days where the sun is out, you definitely need to go out and get direct sunlight and get your vitamin D that way, because your body absorbs that much, much better. Also remember that you need to make sure that you're getting enough calcium too, because your body uses the calcium to help you absorb the vitamin D. So you may have vitamin D absorption problems if you're not getting the right amount of calcium. So drink more dairy, or even almond milk has more calcium than regular dairy milk. For those of you that have a dairy sensitivity like I do, I have switched to almond milk, and it's keeping my calcium up. So I want to thank all of you for watching and listening to my story, and I hope all of you take note and make sure you get the blood tests that you need to make sure that you're not JC virus positive. And if you are, make sure that you're doing everything to keep your immune system healthy and stable. Again, food being the better option. So remember, guys, be nice to one another, and it doesn't take any effort to be nice to one another. So until next time, guys, I want to thank all of you for watching, and I want to shout out to all of my MS warriors. Thank you.